It was a huge disappointment to see the lack of global leadership and the lack of global cooperation over the last 2 years. In the beginning, it was like watching a disaster in slow motion, that as the virus began to spread around the world, and it was still in the initial stages, decisive action could have stopped it. And there was like, there are no adults in the room. Like everybody is just watching it, and nobody is taking a leadership of, okay, let's have an international front to together help the countries most in need and stop this before it spreads everywhere and before we have this problem that we are now facing with the mutations and the new variants. And there was no global leadership. And what was really disappointing about it is that the virus is a much more obvious and immediate threat than other global problems like climate change. And it should have been relatively easy to unite humanity in the face of such a threat, and it just didn't happen. And this is really, and what's the answer? I don't know. This is where we need to rely on politicians to do their job, because the scientists did their job in a wonderful way, to understand the virus, to develop treatments, to develop vaccines. How to implement, how to use these tools, this is the job of the politicians, and it wasn't done really. And ideally, the response to COVID should be the establishment of a global healthcare system, a basic healthcare system for the entire human race. You know, lots of people, you mentioned populist leaders, they are very much in favor now of building walls and building fences on the borders. We need a wall on the border, but not between countries. We need a wall on the border between humanity and the viruses. If a virus anywhere in the world breaches this border and infects a person in South Africa or in Indonesia or in Brazil, anywhere, this places everybody in danger. So it's a kind of straightforward, simple idea that we need to provide first basic good healthcare for every person on Earth, because everybody will benefit from that. And secondly, we need an effective global early warning system, which means sharing data more quickly and more openly. And for the first time in history, we have the technology to do it. It's now very easy. If you discover a new virus in China or in South Africa or in some remote town, within seconds, you can alert the entire world to that. It's now very easy to do it, and it's not done. So we have this huge gap between our immense power as a species, bigger than ever before, and the kind of lack of political wisdom or political motivation to use this power.